All right. The review we have been waiting for. Oh boy. I'm in a mixed bag. On one side, I like this film. Not love, I like this film. The trashing that this film is receiving, I think Metacritic is 43%, Rotten Tomatoes 51%. That's a little bit steep. This is a 7 out of 10 film. This is Captain America the Winter Soldier Light. Now, I have made it clear over the last few years on this channel that I am not a fan of how Marvel has handled Hulk related characters. The return of Samuel Stearns as the leader in this role as the main antagonist slash villain is out of place. I feel like we could have taken Giancarlo Esposito, who, in my opinion, is wasted in this film. There are a few characters that I'm going to say are wasted in this film. Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stearns, he gives a fantastic performance. He's wasted in this film. Giancarlo Esposito as Vogler, the head of Serpent Society, he is wasted in this film. Why is he here outside of the fact that I feel like you needed to pad the movie with a well-known actor and you just snatched up Giancarlo Esposito and tossed him into that role? Um, there was one other character. There was one other character that I wanted to say was heavily wasted. Oh, Shira Haas as Sabra, wasted as a character in this film. I feel like for her character, they were going for what Black Widow was in um Captain America Winter Soldier, where not only is she a confidant for Steve, she's also like the second heavy hitter, and she's also the one that gives a little bit of information about the situation that's going on. I feel as though there are two characters in this film whose roles could have been rolled into one. Shira Haas's Sabra and Zoshu. I really hope I don't fuck up her name. Zosha um Rookmore as she's the Secret Service agent. I don't even remember her name, but she's basically Theodore Ross's number two. She's his primary bodyguard in this film. Both of those characters could have been combined into one character as the primary point of contact for Ross as the head of his security. And you really wouldn't have missed a beat in any way, shape, or form. Outside of that, this film is expertly acted. Anthony Mackie, boy, when I tell you he put this movie on his back, and if you were to give him a really, really good script, he would kill it as Captain America. I know that there were some people online complaining about the fact that he's getting tossed around. Yeah, he's a normal guy. He's gonna get tossed around. But at the exact same time, some of the things that he was doing with with the shield, Steve Rogers could never. That aerial dogfight that happens in the third act of the film, where it's him and somebody else who crushes it. Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres, the new Falcon. He's fantastic as well. But that final dogfight scene where they're flying around with the F-18s and he's using the combination of the shield with the adamantium wings to not only knock the missiles out of the sky, but avoid bullets from the people that they're fighting against while also taking out the F-18s. Fantastic. It reminded me of the Poe Dameron introduction when he finally gets into an X-wing in The Force Awakens, where like he's flying down and he's shooting all the X-wing. There's like this really, really wide, awesome shot of him like looping up into the sky, taking out two TIE fighters, spinning back down, shooting a third one, flying towards the riverbank, knocking another one out of the sky, and then Finn turns around. He's like, "That's one hell of a pilot." When Sam was flying around doing all that extra shit, I was like, "Yeah, that's my Captain America." Um, Fantastic job, fantastically shot. Anthony Mackie does a great job. So does Danny Ramirez. Harrison Ford as Theodore Ross. Thaddeus Ross, also fantastic. He gives a great performance. I do wish that oh my god, I forgot his name. Um, damn. Hold on. I'm not gonna go for it until I have my man's name. William Hurt. I do wish that William Hurt was still around. I feel as though he would have given us that fantastic performance as well as Thaddeus Ross, because he did a really, really good job coming up for the last 15 years. But Harrison Ford fills those shoes perfectly. He played a really, really great character that is both the sympathetic grieving father who's mourning the connection he lost with his daughter for the decisions that he's essentially made, a man who's basically been thrusted into a position of leadership, who's afraid of the skeletons in his closet, but then at the exact same time, the man who he's always been, just this angry, hate-filled individual that's going to fuel the monster that he becomes. Great job. Fantastic. Will his character come back? Who knows? You know Harrison Ford doesn't like sequels. The faster Marvel can kill off Harrison Ford's character, the happier he tends to end up being. Now, story wise, why do I call it Winter Soldier Light? Beat for beat, it's almost the exact same as Captain America: The Winter Soldier, where you have this. Well, damn, I can't even explain that point because that point is technically a spoiler, and I don't want to do spoilers in the review. But let's just say that for the most part, you hit a lot of the same beats that Captain America does, even in regards to Sabra being like the Black Widow character assisting the Captain America character. But the thing that's holding this film back for the most part is the usage or the underutilization of characters that are supposed to push the narrative along. Characters like the leader who's supposed to push the narrative. Characters like Sabra who's supposed to push the narrative. Characters like Giancarlo Esposito playing the head of Serpent Society that's supposed to push the narrative. In my opinion, I think this film would have been a whole lot better if you'd taken out Sabra, taken out the leader, and focused on Serpent Society. You could have went an angle where Serpent Society is the remaining branch of, let's say, Hydra, where during the blip when everybody was sent away, all of a sudden they found themselves in a position to basically rebuild the monster in the shadows once again of all of these world governments. And now is the time, now that they have adamantium, something that they can essentially use to uh basically complete their ultimate objective of New World Order, which if I remember correctly, was the original name for this film. It was New World Order before they switched it over to Brave New World. That would have been a whole lot better of a narrative, where it's basically Sam being thrusted into a position where he has to combat Hydra. You could have even made Serpent Society the members of Hydra that tortured um Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley in prison during Vietnam, since technically we know that at some point in time in Vietnam he did fight Red Guardian. That would have also been a really, really cool thing to tie into this film if they had chosen to go this route. But the decision to basically include the characters that they chose to include kind of brings the film down a little bit. And it sucks because it is Sam Wilson's big debut on the main stage. But once again, instead of focusing on Captain America characters and villains like you would in the comic book, it's the Hulk characters. It's the Hulk characters that drag the film down. And that sucks because everybody does a fantastic job in this film. This film is expertly acted. Everyone brought their A game. It's just the material just wasn't strong enough. I said it to myself when I was watching the film that Anthony Mackie's in a Adam Driver situation where it doesn't matter how heavy and how great your acting is, because the script isn't really as good. It's gonna drag down and it's gonna be basically him putting the entire thing on his back. And when he's on screen, he's fucking magic. The fight between him and the Red Hulk, fucking magic. Did he win through bullshit? Hell nah. My man won through luck and talk no jutsu. He went to the Naruto Academy of I'm finna turn this villain into my ally if you just give me 5 seconds of conversation with this man. When he's out and about doing his thing, fucking awesome. When he doesn't have his gear and he's just a regular dude, it's like, damn, he got arrested easy. It's like, yeah, there's not gonna be a elevator scene with Steve Rogers where he fights his way through like 15 people and then dives out of a balcony and crashes through it. Nah, he's human. And he takes his licks and he takes his damage. And it's kind of something that I appreciated from this film is as a member of the military, but not only as a member of the military, but as just a regular guy, he forms regular connections. There's no Quinjet. He's not a part of the Avengers initiative is gone. They were gotten rid of with the Sokovia Accords. There's no Shield. He's not a member of Shield. So for him, he has to get around like everybody else. He's driving from point A to point B, or he's flying from point A to point B. As it progresses, he's not a super soldier. So he gets an injury early on that he bruises one of his ribs. That injury persists throughout the entire film, where as he's fighting, you'll see that he kind of favors his left side. That's great. That's a reminder of the fact that he is fucking human. As the show is set, as the movie progresses, you see all of the damage accumulate on him, kind of like when you were playing through any of the Batman Arkham games, or when you first land in Batman Arkham, you know, you chilling. You got the new bat suit on, nothing's going on. You know, you got the whole cape. Then by the end of Batman Arkham, it is in tatters. The armor is fucked up. Batman is tired. He's got a broken wrist. He's got 3 broken ribs. He's got a broken nose. His back is killing him. I love that. I love that at the end of this film, like, my man was genuinely tired. He was like, nah, I gotta go recuperate for like 2 months to like heal all of these injuries that I basically got. I love some of the cameos that we get from characters that we essentially expected. I'm not going to spoil that for anybody, but those were also really, really good. This film, it is understandable that it ends up in a situation where the reviews are mixed. Like I said, it lands in the 6 to 7.5 out of 10 rating, where it's a good film. It's not an absolutely horrible film. We've had horrible films before. But it's a decent film. But you were kind of hoping that because it's his first outing, that it would have been a fantastic, bombastic, great film. Which it isn't. Like I said, it's not a great film, it's a good film. I enjoyed it. How many times did I check my phone while I was watching this? None. Sat through the entire thing. The only thing that I checked was during the credits to see if there was a post-credit scene, and I guess we'll talk about that in a completely different video, even though I don't really once again certain characters. But yeah, did I enjoy it? Yes, I absolutely did. Is it putting Marvel back on the map? No. I feel like the thing that's going to decide whether or not Marvel is back on the map is going to be Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. Definitely Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is the major one. Fantastic Four is the one that it's like, if this thing flops, if this thing fails, if this thing ain't great, we in trouble. But only time will tell. For the most part, only time will tell. Let's hope that if Anthony Mackie does end up getting a second Captain America film, it's a whole lot better written than this one, but he's already proven from this film alone. I don't think you'll ever run into anybody who's reviewing this film that's going to say Anthony Mackie was absolutely 100% horrible. He was the worst reason, the worst person in this film. You're not going to hear that. Like I said, put the movie on his back. My man was out there acting his ass off, and that was great. That was great to see. That means that when he pops up in all these other productions of what's going on, he's still going to be like the best, most charming, most inspirational Captain America, like just like Steve Rogers on screen. But let me know what you guys think about it. If you've seen it, comment down below, let me know. We're gonna do the spoiler review tomorrow. Yeah, spoiler review is dropping tomorrow. We're gonna talk about all the ins and outs. I'm definitely gonna be getting more into the outs the things that just did not work in this film. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.